Also, but he's supposed to be a genius as well. That's the only way he can get some money.
Well, it's quite the genius plan.
I guess if he wanted to have sex with an old lady, yeah.
Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of Kicking Trees. This week, we're continuing our reviewing of all the Superman movies and creating an ultimate ranked list. Today, we're discussing Superman Returns. Did you enjoy it?
Not really.
Damn.
Did you?
I thought it was fine.
It's fine. Okay. Does that mean you enjoyed it?
Did you watch it all in one sitting?
I did.
That's where you went wrong.
That might have been. I could see you were mentioning watching it in like half-hour segments, and it helps, you said.
It did, because it is definitely too long of a movie, coming in at 2.5 hours.
And a lot of nothing happening as well. Like, it didn't have to be that long.
It was a lot of glazing. It was a nostalgia fest, basically.
Yeah.
Which, for those at home that don't know, Superman Returns is supposed to be a sequel to both Superman 1978 and Superman 2. It ignores 3 and 4 Halloween H2O style.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. And also, it was just not much Superman either. And in
He
the
was
other
in it
movie,
quite a bit.
well, but he took so long to become Superman. It felt like he crashed down and then was Clark Kent for a bit. And there was a lot of Lois stuff. And in the other movies, I was pretty okay with a lot of Lois stuff because I liked Lois Lane a lot.
This Lois is such a downgrade.
She was a big downgrade.
Yeah.
She did not have the same charisma, same anything.
One of the
really.
first notes I took is this Lois lacks energy.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, she really does. She had no energy.
No. It's like they forgot how to write woman
Yeah.
in the 20 to 30 years between movies.
Yeah, Margot Kidder Lois was all over the place. Like, she was full of energy.
She was just well written.
Yeah. And she
She had a personality.
had a personality. She was kind of yelling and stuff too. Like, she had a
She was
loud personality.
She was aggressive.
Yeah.
This Lois,
Very gentle.
yeah,
Not the same, really.
gentle, quiet, and just bad.
Yeah.
I'm not even blaming the actress because that was a writing problem.
The writing was kind of rough in here.
It was.
Too, yeah. I think every actor was somewhat of a downgrade of the previous actor
I
who
thought
did the character.
I thought Brandon Roth did a really good job.
He did good, but he's not as good.
No, he wasn't as good. A lot of this movie is trying to recapture, because they wanted it to be a sequel to Superman 1 and 2
Yeah.
for some reason, instead of doing a new Superman story.
Yeah, that was a strange choice as well.
And it's a strange choice because it takes place in 2006.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
No, they're not vague with the year. It's on the newspapers and stuff in this one.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, when he crash lands on the farm, Ma Kent is alive because she wasn't killed off with a sentence in Superman 3.
That threw me off at first.
You were confused by that?
Yeah. And then I had to remember everything we just explained. Did he leave at the end of Superman 2, or did they? Okay, so that was just something they said happened?
Yeah.
I was trying to remember that as well.
Which was supposed to be developed more in a deleted scene because Kumar's in this.
Yeah, he was kind of just thrown in there as well.
And
What's his actual name?
Cal Penn or something.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, something Penn. And he is the guy that faked Superman leaving Earth to go investigate Krypton's remains is Lex Luthor's scheme to get Superman off of Earth for a while.
So that he could call Superman for the court date?
I guess. And then
Okay.
have Superman no-show, and then he's out of jail. And Cal Penn is the one who faked the Krypton finding or whatever. He set that up. He was his scientist guy.
That was a
Like,
pretty fun plan to get out of prison, of going to prison.
It's just so elaborate and petty.
Yeah,
Ruined Superman's life a bit.
yeah. Also, just kind of defeating Superman with a court date is funny as well.
What did you think with very first scene, Lex Luthor having sex with an old lady?
That was weird. Yeah, I have the line she said here. You've shown me pleasures I've never known. Those were her dying words. He must have been giving it to her good.
Yeah,
To
apparently.
get her to say that?
Yeah.
That was weird.
He's just a very, he's a considerate lover.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And it was
That
just to
Lex
get her
Luthor.
inheritance?
Yeah.
He has money.
I was wondering what happened to his money. Maybe he lost it when he got arrested. They don't say anything about that.
No.
But
Also, but he's supposed to be a genius as well. That's the only way he can get some money.
well, it was quite the genius plan.
I guess if he wanted to have sex with an old lady, yeah,
I liked when right after that he takes off his wig. That was a nice callback.
that was,
I did like a lot of the callbacks in this.
yeah.
It's just I don't.
A wig thing
See
I
the
really
point.
liked was when they were on that boat, Lois and the kid, and then Lois sees the wig.
room.
She's like, we have to
Oh
get
my
out of
God.
here. Yeah. She knows who it is just from the wig.
And I like it when he walks out, he's just brushing his teeth. He's like, what are you doing here?
What is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That wasn't in his plans at all.
No.
That did give Lois some agency because she got herself into trouble.
Yeah.
But
It just would have been nicer if she got into trouble with a personality.
Margot Kidder Lois, she would have tried to like slap Lex and run off the ship.
She would have done a lot more, yeah.
But she just gets kidnapped in this.
This Lois just kind of sits there.
Yeah.
for most of it at least.
I also liked how Lex's yacht just had no security.
I was thinking that
You
too.
can just walk in on there.
Because, what was his name? Richard? Yeah, Richard, the husband.
James Martin, yeah.
Yeah, he just gets on there, no problem, and gets to Lois.
Well,
He flies over there, lands a plane, which is very visible, and then gets all the way. He had to search every room probably as well.
Lois
No
got
one
on
stops
there.
him.
Lois got on there with a child.
Yeah, what is Lex doing?
He has all those goons there too,
Yeah,
and they're just not doing anything, I guess. And then the Fortress of Solitude. There's no guards. There's no security there.
no.
There would be guards, I guess. Well, they could have had Superman robots.
Yeah.
No security though. Lex just walks in there.
The crystals, I thought, were kind of a lame thing to have be part of the story in such a big way.
I liked how they connected the crystal technology from those earlier ones into
Yeah.
Lex's plot. I thought that was a neat use of the lore.
Yeah.
But now Lex's plot being the same as Superman 1, basically, to get land and everything.
Also, he tries to defeat Superman almost the exact same way.
Exactly. He's trying to
And
drown him.
Kryptonite drowning.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird as well. A positive was I thought it was just nice having newer visual effects.
The effects in this do hold up really well.
Yeah, just him
In the last
stopping
20
that
years?
plane right at the start.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't
That was nice.
amazing or anything, but it was better than what we've seen
Mhm.
so far, just because it was newer.
And then in that plane crash, Lois takes insane damage.
Yeah, she does.
She's flying every which way in the plane.
She takes the most damage in the whole plane, I think.
She does,
That's what it
easily.
looked like. Yeah.
No one else gets hurt.
Is she even bleeding at the end?
No. But then when Superman saves the plane, everyone gets off, and then Superman talks to Lois. He says the airplane travel or something lied to her again.
That one I liked again.
So that was a them relationship thing.
Yeah.
That's a nice callback. And then
It wasn't just glazing like you said.
No.
Like that was just an actually good reference.
and then she faints like she did.
Yeah.
I don't think she should have fainted. I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either because she should be used to it now.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
here's what actually happened. She didn't faint. She succumbed to her injuries and died right there.
Oh my God. That would make sense.
Because she got like the shit kicked out of her by that plane.
She did. She was flying all over the place.
Actually, watching the whole movie, Lois takes a lot of hits.
I think at one point a guy hits her over the head with like a rock or something
Yeah,
as well.
that
and she,
glove thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she's unscathed. She's not bleeding one bit. Her skin is perfectly fine.
And then when the Lex's yacht is sinking,
Yeah.
she has one of those big steel yacht doors slam her on the head.
I don't even remember that part.
That's what she's knocked out.
Oh my God. Yeah. And she's fine after.
Mhm.
Yeah. Still not bleeding at all. My next note is this Perry White is a real downgrade as well.
Because he has no energy either.
Yeah. They took away all the energy. He was just an old man in this one.
But a counterpoint, I will say, is I like their Jimmy Olsen quite a bit.
He was good. Yeah. I guess
I-
he's not really a downgrade to the last Jimmy Olsen. I liked them both.
I would say he was better than the previous Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah. He didn't really get much time to shine.
This
The
Jimmy or
previous-
previous one?
the
Yeah,
previous
this
one.
one just had more to do,
Yeah.
really. But what you gonna do?
Also, near the start, I thought it was insulting that Perry, because Lois wants to write about Superman or something.
Lois wants to write about the power outage. That
Oh,
Lois
the
caused.
power outage. And then Perry says they only read about
Mm.
Superman, sex, and something else. And then she's like, you can't write about sex. I beg to differ. I seem to remember her writing a pretty amazing article
yeah.
about group sex and retirement homes in the first movie.
And drugs.
And drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what he's talking about.
I guess they're horrible articles. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's
I,
what he
I
was
guess we
testing
didn't see
her.
the quality
No.
of this article.
The director wasn't following up on that continuity, clearly.
No.
Did not watch. Give it a rewatch.
Yeah. So it's one thing for him to say she can't write about sex, but at least mention that
The previous
elderly
one.
group sex article was horrible
Yeah.
that you wrote. Oh my God. And Superman was such a creep when he was peeping Tomming on Lois having a happy family.
I thought that too.
Just flying from afar, watching them and listening to their conversations.
That was a while too.
Yeah.
It was at least 5 to 10 minutes.
At most, if you want to be not a creep, you're flying by, you look for 1 second.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. And you
You
make it
can't
seem like
believe
it was on your way.
Yes. He was going, you were right on his path.
Exactly.
And you just had to check, is Lois okay? Yes, she is.
And he's like, nice.
But he's
Fine.
fully just sitting there in the air, staring and listening for a long time.
Something I don't like about his costume. I didn't like that the colors were darker, first of all. And I didn't like that his briefs,
Yeah.
they were too low cut. They were like low rise jeans, you know?
Okay, I didn't notice that, but I
So,
know what you're saying.
It was etching into banana hammock territory.
yeah.
Whereas on Christopher Reeve's suit, he has the briefs on. You don't even really notice the briefs there. Because they're
That's
also,
true.
they're not as tight as this suit was, I guess.
It looks okay on Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one, it didn't look good.
No, it didn't. I didn't notice it was that low though. That might have been why, I guess. It didn't look good.
Yeah, he's got some mound going.
I liked the guy shooting him in the eyeball scene.
So it's just a cool effect.
That's the only thing I could remember from when I was a child from this movie.
I enjoyed when he was in space listening to everything.
Yes.
And then when someone at the planet, I think it was Richard, was saying, so how does his super hearing work? Does he hear everything or just specific things?
And it was while he was super hearing.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, I liked that too. That was fun. And the shooting in the eye thing, that's also just something I wondered as a child as well when I was really young, like 5 or 6 or something. I was like, I wanna know if I can shoot him in the eye and kill him. Not in a bad
Oh.
way. Just curious if it would work.
Okay.
I guess it wouldn't. We know that now. And they mentioned Gotham. Did you see
Yes,
that?
I did. So what was their plan with that? That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. Maybe they were planning some Batman stuff after
Batman
if
v-
it went well.
Batman Begins was the movie that came out around that time. And that one,
When did Batman Begins come out?
I think Batman Begins came out in 2005,
When did this movie come out?
2006.
You're good. Batman Begins came out in 2000. So Batman Begins was before this movie.
Yes. And now I feel confidently, with this one being a sequel to Superman 1 and 2, Batman Begins did not take place in a universe where the events of Superman 1 and 2 happened.
That just does not work.
No. So what was their plan by
Christian
mentioning
Bale
Gotham?
Batman would not work in this Superman universe. I don't know.
Like, would they have a different
Maybe it was
Batman? I
just
don't
they
know.
were just having fun.
Dumb.
It's weird to do with that Batman movie out so soon. They should
It
have
is.
mentioned a different city, maybe like Central City or Keystone City or something.
Mm-hmm. But then the normies don't know those ones. Like the casual viewer, they know Gotham. They don't know.
Yeah, but it
It didn't make sense.
confusing with
It didn't make
Batman
sense.
Begins.
Yeah.
Because so little happens in this 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yes.
My very next note skips ahead quite a bit because so little happened in that middle section of the movie.
What about when Lex Luthor has the model trains in that basement?
I don't remember this.
That's where he first tests the crystal, and then it blows up.
Oh, and
model
everything
trains.
starts going fast and everything.
Did he build that elaborate model train setup?
I assumed he had that already. He's a collector.
Did he build it himself, though? Construct it?
Yeah.
Or did he get his goons to do it?
I think he's been building that for years.
Because Amazon, when you watch things on Prime, they have little trivia bits,
Yeah?
and I paused it there, and it said that took 2 days for a full crew to construct.
Well, but Lex Luthor is like 10 of those men.
You're right.
One of those men.
Because of his IQ.
Yes. So he probably built that in about like 15 minutes.
You're onto something.
But also I do think he was collecting as well. So he had the trains already because he has a train collection, but he built that track just for this experiment. And I didn't like the kryptonite in this movie. It should have glowed or something, but it looked like a normal rock, like I could find that on the beach. The other ones, it looked...
Oh, he made the kryptonite into that cylinder and then put a crystal in that cylinder.
Yeah. I still would have liked it to be glowing, though.
So when they were on that boat, that one Lex goon, he takes off his toque. He has a John Wayne Gacy tattoo on the back of his head, and then goes to play piano with Lois's son, Jason.
Yes.
What was the director trying to tell us there? He had ill intention for Jason. And why include that is what I'm saying.
It was not necessary.
No.
Because also after it seemed like he had ill intentions toward the child. That's not even what causes the conflict. It's Lois like sending
Doing
out
the
that
faxes.
SOS. Yeah. And then he starts beating up Lois, and then that's what makes the conflict happen.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that clown stuff was completely
It
unnecessary.
was, weird choices.
He could have just been a random goon helping the kid with piano because he's like, I'm bored right now.
Exactly. They didn't have to include
Yeah,
that.
that was like a very dark theme to add in.
it was. And then Jason kills the man, which that guy did have it coming.
He was beating up his mom.
Yep.
And then he didn't really know he had Superman powers.
Yep.
So he just kind of killed him
He did.
with a piano.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty okay with that, actually.
So now, what do you think Lois thinks happened there? Because if this is a sequel to Superman 2, they had sex in the fortress.
Yeah.
And then Superman gave her an amnesia kiss.
Oh, I assumed they got rid of that amnesia kiss part.
Why would they get rid of that when it's a sequel to Superman 2?
I assumed it was like a slightly rewritten sequel because she definitely knows who Superman is.
In this one?
Yeah.
No, she does not.
She knows her kid is Superman's, I mean. She doesn't know who Superman is, but she knows the kid belongs to Superman.
Well, then she would know that Superman's Clark Kent, and she clearly doesn't in this movie by how
Yeah, that's
everything's
confusing.
going. So I don't think they
But
did
she
do
does
a
know the
rewrite.
kid is Superman's.
Well, yeah, because the kid had superpowers.
But she knows before then.
Why do you think that?
Because there was a scene, I liked this scene actually. I thought I wrote it down, but I guess I didn't. When Lex is holding the kryptonite while they're hostage, the kid gets sort of sick. And Lois seems kind of protective of the kid. Like, Lex is like, whose kid is that? And Lois just kind of doesn't answer the question.
She says it's Richard's.
She seemed weird about it, though.
I don't think she knew.
I thought she was lying.
She would already be protective of the kid.
It seemed like she knew to me.
And I think if she did know, then Lex would see through her lie because of his supremely high intellect.
I assumed after that moment Lex did know as well.
No, Lex didn't know.
How would he see the kid getting sick with the kryptonite around him and then think, well, I guess it's nothing?
Because he didn't look like he was being hurt. He looked kind of nauseous.
He just thought he was seasick.
Yeah. Because then when Lex is surprised later when they find out the kid does have superpowers.
He's not that surprised.
He is, because then he's like, we got to leave now.
He's like, that suspicion is confirmed, surprised.
No, he was surprised.
No, he was like, okay, yeah, okay.
No,
that makes sense.
That one goon told Lex what happened, and then he was like, we have to go now.
He at least strongly suspected.
No, he didn't.
Then Lex is an idiot. He made the kid sick with kryptonite. He's like, it's nothing.
The kid wasn't hurting at all.
Also, it's weird that he didn't like try and test it a bit. Like, why not bring the kryptonite closer to the kid? He suspected it for a second and then lets it go.
Because we already know he has a great disdain for children and animals.
Oh, he doesn't want to go near it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's like, it would be cool to test it out, but children.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you think of the Kryptonite Island?
That was weird.
So he's hurt when he's on the island for the first time.
That confused me a little bit. It was like they jumped a tiny bit.
When he's able to then lift it?
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense. So why did it affect him the first time when he was on there? And then the next time he's just kind of able to lift it, only mildly set back.
Yeah, he's just sort of struggling, but he can't do a single thing on top of it. Like, was it mostly affecting him from the top? The bottom doesn't have the kryptonite power?
That's what it seems like.
But then the kryptonite was shooting out of the bottom while he left the island, and it was showing completely.
Exactly. Didn't work.
Sheer willpower is what I summed that up to. He was like, I gotta do this.
So the kryptonite in this one didn't seem to be hurting him per se. It kind of just depowered him. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And I didn't like how those goons then just beat the crap out of him. It was just a sad display. He should have put up at least a little bit of fight.
Also, did he scream, I'm still Superman when that was happening or something?
I don't remember that. Because main criticism Superman gets is that he's all about his powers. But if he was able to fend off those guys at least a bit without his powers,
yeah,
that would have been good stuff. Because then also he was in a learning pod for 12 years. That had the accumulated knowledge of several planets or whatever.
It would have been nice if he actually fully took down those guys with slight struggle and then Lex stabs him from behind.
Yeah, there we go. That would have been a good scene.
Yeah, he fully takes them down and then stab in the back.
Because he should know a martial art.
Yeah.
The scene would have been better that way. They need us to write these movies.
They do. They should just quickly say, hey guys, what do you think of this?
They should.
And then we can give them the go.
Give them some revisions.
But also back a bit to when Richard saves Lois and the kid. And Superman kind of and then they get Superman.
From the water.
Right after he's stabbed.
And Jason sees him in the water.
Yeah. Almost drowns again. Classic. And then he needs Superman to lift the plane and give him a blast off. If I needed Superman to lift my plane so I could fly away with my wife and kid who's in love with Superman, I would be completely emasculated.
I would not accept that help.
Yeah.
I would not ask.
I'd be like, no, I've got this.
Yeah.
I would drown first.
I would let us all die.
Yes.
Yeah. Easy choice.
I can't believe he let it happen.
No, it was embarrassing.
He was pretty much cucked there.
So James Marsden was in X-Men and X2, obviously, as Cyclops.
And Hop.
Yeah, sure. That was later.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was Cyclops in that, and then they had the Wolverine-Jean romance to be a lot more Jean leaning towards Wolverine in those movies already. And then he comes over to be in Superman, and Mr. Super Steal Your Girl's rolling up here.
I would be
flying
curious
away
if
with
it's
your
something
wife.
about me at that point.
Yeah, why does he always get cast in these roles?
Yeah, does he have that face?
I guess.
Yeah.
What's going on with James Marsden?
He can't keep a girlfriend or a wife.
That's the reputation the studios want him to have.
Yeah. What do they have against him?
I don't know.
Or maybe this is his life.
Oh.
Maybe they know something we don't. And it is just his life. It's what happens to him.
It's real sad for James Marsden.
It is. It sucks. I know.
Damn.
But it's what happens to some people, I guess, including
guess.
James Marsden. I had one more note about when Superman is lifting the island that should have depowered him immediately.
Okay.
When he initially starts lifting it, a huge chunk of it falls directly onto all of Lex's goons.
Yeah, and they all die.
He killed those
did.
people.
Yeah.
It was irresponsible of him.
He would have known
Yeah.
it was dangerous.
He would have known he's going to cause like a little earthquake on this island
it was
when he's lifting it up.
It was an indirect kill, but it was,
He didn't care.
no, Superman would consider that.
He could have knocked down that island first and then, but if he goes on top of it, he might have been completely
Because it's more
depowered
powerful
first.
on top.
So maybe that's why he's like, these people just have to die, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he completely killed them. I don't know why they didn't even mention it either. He's just cool
No,
with
they
that.
didn't.
They're dead and they never get mentioned again.
No, when he has the island up in space, he throws it into the sun. And he's like, "Hold on a moment, everyone. Quick Christ pose."
Yeah. While he's soaking in the sun.
I don't like when Superman gets these Christ comparisons.
I don't really like it either. He's not very Jesus-y.
No, it implies that if someone wants to do good, they're inherently Jesus-y.
Yeah. He's just doing good, though.
He is just doing good stuff. And he was made by 2 Jewish guys.
Yeah. Yeah, what is with that?
I don't know.
He's not Jesus.
No, it's a very shallow understanding of the character.
Yeah, I agree. That's very true. I remember in Superman 2, they had the Zod thing with Jesus, and we were like, if you're going to do it to anyone, why not Superman? But I do prefer just don't do it at all. And it was also overall just a kind of a lame final conflict. The final conflict, I would say, is just him getting stabbed and then lifting the island up.
Yep.
And I don't mind when it's him just saving people randomly throughout the movie and saving random disasters from happening, but I would appreciate just something cool to happen instead.
You like when punches happen.
I do.
I liked the saving the city at the end. It was, again, like the first Superman movie, but I liked when he blew out those fires in the sewers and him catching the planet globe. I thought looked cool.
That's good side stuff to happen throughout the movie.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
But in the end, there should be something cooler than that, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he should be doing that throughout all the time, and then there's some cool... Like, the Zod fight in Superman 2 was pretty good.
It was. It was exciting.
And then I was also pretty surprised that him and Lois aren't together in the end.
A bold choice.
Yeah, that was a bold choice.
Bold choice.
They just stay not together.
Yeah. One that Spider-Man 3 would do the next year.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Do you think they were just hoping for a sequel as well to get them together?
There were planned sequels to this.
Yeah. I wonder how long James Marsden would have been around.
So we know thanks to the Arrowverse that James Marsden tragically died in a gas bomb from the Joker.
I did not know that. Did they say that? They go to the Superman Returns universe?
So Brandon Routh plays Superman in the Crisis crossover.
Oh, right.
Remember
And
that?
he's the Atom as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
In the
then-
Arrowverse.
In the Arrowverse. But then when they went to the Earth where he was Superman, he had the Kingdom Come suit. Remember all that happening?
Yeah. So that was also Superman Returns Superman? The Kingdom
So
Come?
supposedly it was, because he also mentions having a son named Jason.
Okay.
But then he also mentions the events of Superman 3 and 4.
Oh my God.
So that kind of breaks it. Or it's a separate Earth that also has the events of 3 and 4,
It's a separate Earth that had 1, 2, 3, and 4 happen, and then Superman Returns.
I guess. Or Superman Returns in between 3 and 4 even.
Well, I guess in Superman Returns, is there anything saying that 3 and 4 can't happen?
He doesn't have a son.
Yeah, that's
And
true. Yeah.
Lois isn't dating
And
Richard.
he would have been gone for 3 and 4. Yeah, there's a lot saying 3 and 4 can't happen. I guess it's another universe where Richard dies of Joker bomb.
So did Lois. And
Really?
Perry. That's why Superman's the editor-in-chief of the planet.
A job opportunity out of Lois and Perry dying?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it is.
I would imagine he'd be more broken than that. Like he's just kind of done for a while. I
Well,
thought
he
that's
was,
why
but-
he would have been in the Kingdom Come outfit next.
He's an older Superman in that still, but he did eventually become the chief of the planet. I don't know how many years later it happened, but it happened.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, it could have been later. I imagined it right away. That was harsh of me to think of him, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then at the end, they recreated the Christopher Reeve flying in space thing, which I appreciated that nod as well,
Yeah. I did like when he went up to soak up the sun to get his powers back.
except for the Jesus pose.
Yeah, but I like when he does that in general. It's just fun.
It is cool. That's not a person's default pose, is my problem.
Yeah.
He should have been like oh my God.
His legs should have been more spread out too. Like, my legs don't automatically... If I'm in zero gravity, I'm not stuck together with my legs.
No,
I'm flailing about.
exactly.
Yeah, this feels more natural.
Yeah.
Unless he was purposely doing it in case anyone was watching. There's space people. It's like, I've seen astronauts get killed on the moon before. Maybe
Oh.
they're on the moon right now
Wait.
watching me.
Way back to the beginning of the movie when he's on the Kent farm and then that dog's there and the dog just wants to play fetch
Yeah,
and then he throws it super far.
yeah.
What a dick.
I know. The dog would be so immediately sad.
He was.
Yeah.
They showed the dog sad and it was like, that's probably the dog's favorite ball.
Yeah, the dog. A dog has so few pleasures.
It does, and he ruined one.
Yeah,
So where are you ranking this?
I'm thinking D as well.
Yeah, I can give this a D.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
It really was not that good at all.
You got to try giving it another watch in 5 half-hour sittings.
You know what?
I'm telling you.
You know what? I don't think I will.
No. You're just consuming media wrong, is
No.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
Brando.
Movies were meant to watch separated into segments.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for like a really good Superman movie still, I guess. Which I'm hoping will happen soon. With
When we
Jamie
watch
Foxx.
Man of Steel next
No.
week.
I don't have the highest. I've seen that one. I was pretty young when it came out, but I watched it. And I don't remember it well, but I don't have the fondest memories of it.
Neither do I. I finished Returns last week, and I was like, okay, I'll start Man of Steel now. And then I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I had higher hopes for Superman Returns just because they had newer technology. I was like, maybe it'll be better, but it wasn't. And now I'm just sad about watching Man of Steel. Because if I remember correctly, which I might not, it's a lot of nothing happening again until the very end where it's just a huge fight. Yeah.
And that's just Superman 4.
Yeah, that's true.
So that has been episode 12 of Kicking Trees, Superman Returns. We'll see you next week with Man of Steel.